started and I lost it all. So, and the point there is I over leveraged, and when I lost too much from my over leveraging, I started revenge trading. So you need to know that over leveraging, revenge trading will never do you anything but extend your losses and extend your psychological problems in trading. You understand me? So and that was it. I blew the account. So another thing is, now let me talk about 4 ways to control emotions in trading. So have a solid plan. You need to have a strategy, bro. You need to know what you're doing. You need to, and you're not just having a plan, you're having a tested plan. You've gone back in time in the market. We have so many softwares that can allow you to backtest these days and get beautiful results. We have the FX replay, we have trading view bar and replay bar. We have Go Charting. We have a lot of them out there. Just get a subscription plan and just do this thing. Take your time to actually do this back test. It will save you a lot of stress. I'm telling you, because emotionally you become stronger in trading, honestly. And have a solid plan which involves your strategy, and your strategy must have an entry, stop loss, target. Everything must be in your plan. You understand? So no on the fly decisions. Don't just make decisions out of nowhere. You understand? Because if you learn how to control that, it gives you less emotions. If your decisions are solely based on your plan, then it gives you less emotional disturbance when you're trading. So proper risk, you need to involve proper risk management. We all know the effect of risk management. Risking 1% of your account, to make 5% of your account. This is what I'm talking about when I say have a solid plan. Study the market, know how the market moves. Know what favors the market. You understand? So because that's when you can tell, okay, this kind of market, would it be best if I risk 1% to make 5%, or if I risk 1% to make 3%? So and start using a lower leverage. It's important to use a lower leverage. Also, accept that losses are part of the game. You are definitely going to make losses. Losses are going to come, and when they come, you need to have that emotional control in managing these losses. How you can do this? Get a strategy that you know. For example, your strategy has 57% win rate, and your risk reward ratio is 1:8. Of course, when you make a loss, you know that by the time you are going to make a profit, your profit will be 8 times greater than your loss. This alone covers that emotional barrier. Like, it covers that wound that you might even have when you are making losses. Knowing this alone gives you this peace when you make a loss, because you just have this. So if you are someone that gets aggressive or gets overly worried, this is a cheat code that might actually work for you. Get a strategy that has a very high risk reward ratio. So just make sure your system works even during losing trades, because that's the point. You're going to have losing trades. You're going to have just make sure your system. That's why you need to backtest your system over the years. Maybe you can do a backtest. I have a current system that I'm using for my platform, Outpulse. You can check the link on my page. So I have a strategy that I've tested for about 5 years, and it's a crypto strategy, and it works very well. So, and honestly, that's what you need. You need to have a strategy that has been tested over the time for more years, and having this, just makes you it makes you less emotional when trading. You understand? Because you know that, okay, over the course of time, this strategy works and gave me a very good risk reward ratio, a very good win rate. You understand? So, and even if I made losses, I'm sure I'm always going to bounce back. You understand? So it gives you this sense of confidence. So yeah. So take breaks. These things are normal. Anything that requires your mental, the involvement of your mental space would often require space at a point, because the brain cannot be overstimulated. You understand? The brain wants stimulation, but at a point, if you get overstimulated, you need to rest, for you to and get a refreshing comeback. You understand? That's how it works. That's life generally. If you get involved in jobs that involves very high labor and all, you understand? If you get involved in things like this, at some point your body tells you, oh no, I cannot go anymore, I need to rest. And you actually need to go through that rest before you can continue. It's how it is. Get space when you feel like, oh no, I've been making too many losses. Take your time, go back, relax, do some back testing, do some heavy work, and come back. See the difference you've made. You understand? So, you don't have to trade back to back every day. It's not a war. You understand? So work. You need to journal. Trading should be relaxing, not. You understand? So it shouldn't be like like a stressful situation for you. So, and not everybody can handle stress. So, and lastly, I'll end it with, this. You need to know that trading doesn't just teach you about markets. It teaches you about yourself. If you can master your emotions in trading, it will start to show up in other parts of your life. And that is why I will go back to the last thing I said. Trading occurs. The last thing I said. Trading requires discipline, which I would advise you to implement outside trading from your external life. I'd advise you to implement some serious discipline in your external life, trading aside. Now, implementing this discipline it might be going to the gym very early in the morning. It might be watching your diet and gut health. It might mean knowing how to say no, learning how to say no. It might mean fasting in the morning. Just build discipline in a way or two from your life, and see how this would affect. Because what this teaches your brain is to stand by your rules. You understand? Because for you to have discipline, it means you have some sort of rule that you are following, and you have to stick to it in order for you to achieve your goal. So it trains your brain to follow these rules, and it makes it easy when you tap into the trading world, and you have actual set of rules that you need to follow to be profitable. Now you then know the price that comes with following these rules and the effect of following it. It becomes it becomes familiar to you, and it makes it easy for you to be able to blend in trade. So try to create some sort of rules at the external part of your life. Follow these rules. Hit the gym every day. Build good diet plan. For your gut health. Just maintain some sort of discipline and transfer that into your mental space. Because this has been the key for me. It has been the major thing that has changed my trading, and I would advise us to implement this as well. Thank you very much, guys.